What's up, everybody? Courtney here with a full body yoga flow. So you're going to come to sit. You may want to have a couple of blocks toward the top of the mat, a blanket or yoga bolster underneath your booty. And once you're comfortable, just start to rock and sway a little side to side. Letting our hips, our knees, our ankles relax toward the floor. And starting to lift through the belly, the heart, the crown, reaching toward the sky. Take those sways into some Sufi circles. Bring the body forward on the inhale. Take it back when you exhale. Do a few one way, a few the other. Switching it up if you haven't, reverse direction. And then slowing down those rocks and sways. Do take a deep inhale through your nose. Let it up and out through the mouth. Fingertips to the floor. Switch which ankle, which foot is underneath if you haven't. Again, little rocks and sways that will bring you right into those Sufi circles, maybe starting the way you normally wouldn't. Arching as you inhale, rounding as you exhale. Bringing in synovial fluid to the joints, easing into the body, and starting to slow down the mind if it's extra busy by connecting with your breath, with what we call a sankalpa, an intention or dedication for your practice right now. Allowing for that to get clear. Do sit tall, maybe reaching the arms all the way up with me. Gently stretching it out for another breath or two. Big inhale, option to gaze up. Exhale, bring your hands straight down, coming together in prayer shape, Anjali Mudra. Seeing that Sankalpa clearly, breathe it into your being. And breathe out the stagnant stuff. Maybe flutter the lips with me, one more big inhale. Choosing to let go as you exhale. Push forward to all fours. Getting into some strength building here. We're going to walk our way into a plank. Shoulders are stacked over wrists. Fingers are bright. Stepping one by one if you haven't. Can little rock, sway, even a gentle circle. One way then the other. It's usually pretty obvious what's happening in the arms, the upper body. Do wake up the lower limbs, the core. Still in that plank, think of reaching your heels back, the crown of the head forward. Or if you have to modify your knees, do come to the floor. Take the inhale, and as you exhale, press your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Maybe a little shake of the head and neck. Like you were saying yes, no, a little bit of each. And then inhale, let's flow forward for plank. Little rock, sway, maybe again circling one way, then the other. Really powering up the legs, inner thighs do gently roll toward the sky. Crown of the head lengthening forward, heels back for one more inhale. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Little rock, sway, even a calf stretch, pedaling out one heel, the other. Then one more time into that relatively long stay in plank. A few breaths to explore. To, of course, get still sooner than later. To modify if that's what you need to do. Be good to the wrists, the shoulders, etc. A little shift forward on the inhale. Draw the elbows in and back. Exhale, do lower to the belly. Sliding the tops of the feet back. Inhale, pull the heart forward for a low cobra. Exhale, melt it down. Inhale, medium cobra if you're feeling it. And exhale, lower. One more time, full cobra, climbing up without shrugging or gripping. And still exhale. One more back bend option to climb a little further, up dog. Thighs do lift. Maybe take the gaze over one shoulder than the other. Little wiggle, sway, an extra inhale or two. Exhale, take it back, either rolling right over the feet or using the knees. Couple of breaths to find downward facing dog. Putting it together, inhale for plank. Consciously moving with breath. Exhale, elbows graze the ribs, going halfway or still all the way. Inhale, scoop the heart forward, shoulders, legs back, up dog. Exhale over the toes, down dog. One more flow when you're feeling it. Following that breath, 2 in down dog, or of course, as needed, opting out. Resting when you need to rest, which I will happily demo in a moment. Coming down to the knees with hips up or down. They can stay high. Nicknamed puppy dog or anahata asana, the heart chakra opening pose. Can also take that big separation of the inner legs. Rock your booty all the way to the heels, maybe fingers by the hips. Balasana, child's pose. Now with all that said, it's almost time to move. No rush if you need a little longer. From your downward facing dog, you'll walk hands to toes. Take the feet hip to shoulder width. Soften the knees. Hands can slip to the shins, ankles, or blocks. Inhale, chest out. On the exhale, do fold in. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, the half fold or half lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, let it go. 2 more on your own, a little back bend quality, a lot like cobra. And then a forward bend quality, clearing your belly, your lungs, even your mind. Last flow or 2 on your own. And after you do that 4, 5, 6 times in total, you'll stay in Uttanasana, the standing forward bend. Maybe bring the fingertips or the palms outside the feet. Drop the head to actively lift the hips, trying not to jam the knee joints, however. That breath of air in the actual knee is key. Little micro bend, as we often reference it in yoga. Hands to hips, passing through the flat back shape. Pause as you exhale. Inhale, do come up. And a big exhale or 2, little adjustments, little shakes, shimmies, even a teeny tiny sip of water if you need it. Eventually, inhale, shrug the shoulders with me. Exhale to release them. Inhaling. Exhaling. Again, about 4, 5, maybe 6, even changing it up by changing direction, going forward and down. We're doing 1 at a time, backwards and or forwards. Feeling your way through what you need, confronting anything that feels like soreness, stress, choosing to let it up and out. 1 more big breath as we stand tall. It's natural to rock and sway, maybe adding a little to that, waking up the 4 corners of the feet, brightening your toes. And then to eventually inhale, take the arms to the sky. Right hand to left wrist going up and over. You can wrap the ribs up and start to look up. You can also gaze forward, down, maybe release the right arm down, one of my favorite shoulder stretches. Another breath, letting everything happen without force. Ease to neutral. Left hand to right wrist going up and over. And wrapping the ribs up can include looking up, but notice how the neck feels on this side. If it's best to release the arm, the gaze, both do. And maybe you stretch a little further without force. Final moments here. Root and rise, take another inhale or 2 to come to center. Lengthen the tailbone, lift through the sternum. We're not tucking, but we are getting longer from the ground up. Exhaling, dive forward, take it all the way down. Inhale halfway, chest out. Exhale, melt everything in. Deep inhale, you're rising to stand, maybe look up. And for today, continuously flowing, exhale, dive down. Inhale, chest forward, expand. Exhale, melt it in, contract. Inhale again, chest forward, maybe up, look up. And right away, do dive it back down. 1 more time, inhale, chest out. Exhale, melt in. Inhale, stand, maybe gaze up. And exhale, lengthen, take it all down. This time, heart forward, thighs gently roll back. Walk to downward facing dog. Enjoying that transition, maybe enjoying a few breaths on the knees if needed. Giving yourself a little shimmy, sway, calf stretch, etc. And or take advantage of this moment to flutter the lips out for a horse breath. Maybe lick them, swallow, release the face, the jaw, the throat. Hips press back. Look forward, step or hop. Inhale halfway. Exhale, we let it go. Inhale, do come all the way up. Exhale, hands come all the way down. Now a moment to shoulder roll, to rock, sway. Incorporate whatever you need to release the fidgets, the stagnant stuff. Maybe bringing one hand to the belly, one to the heart as a tool for grounding. And take another breath or two, choosing to access prana, life force, as you inhale. Choosing to release whatever is holding you back, stagnant energy, negative thoughts, as much as you can with your exhale. One more breath, just accessing prana. Letting go of any doubt, fear, stuff sitting around that intention. On an inhale, take the arms up. Do bend your elbows, weave in a cactus shape. Inhale, reach up. Lengthen and fold, take it down. Inhale, heart forward, shoulders back. Stepping for most of us, if you love a jump back and it's familiar, this is where you maybe lower right away, chaturanga. Next inhale, we'll all flow to cobra or up dog. Exhale, take it back, just a breath or two in this variation. Feet no wider than hips, parallel to each other. Inhale, high on tippy toes, look where you want to land, stepping or hopping, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, we let it go. Inhale, root and rise, come all the way up. Exhale, hands come down. One more flow, just like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chest, crown, forward. Other foot can step you back. Both feet can jump you back. On the exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale to pull to down dog. That breath or two here, getting stable. Maybe sighing, fluttering the lips, even a lion's roar where you stick out the tongue. And maybe lick the lips, swallow. Ocean sounding breath as hips press back. Exhale, look forward, do step or hop. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold in all of the way. Inhale, lengthen and stand up all the way. Maybe gaze up. Exhale, hands do come down. Take one more cleansing breath. Bend the knees, Utkatasana, building some strength. Heels heavy, toes light. Noting we can keep both feet grounded, gaze forward. Can also start to pick up the right foot. Maybe even look up as you float the foot up. Changing sides, heels do ground, knees stay deeply bent. Weight and work is in the legs, the glutes, the core. If you are wobbling, can you breathe through the wobbles for that final breath? And exhale, you'll fold from there. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale to step or jump. Maybe you want to skip chaturanga. You need a little break from that work. And you join me in down dog sooner than later, taking the extra inhale or two here. Returning to brightening fingers, toes, feel that strong alignment. You'll start to reach the right leg to the sky. Take a moment to roll the hip open, maybe look to the right. Kick the right knee, circle the right foot. Even bring in a little figure eight style. And then square that pelvis. Next exhale, shift forward, step through. Right knee over ankle. Back foot's pivoting onto its side. We're gonna lead with the left arm, coming up for a warrior two. Couple of breaths to adjust your way in, even placing hands at hip creases where the thighs and hips meet. Seeing that your front knee is in fact over the ankle. The back foot, back ankle, knee, and hip are on a slight diagonal. Could be steeper or less steep than mine. Feel what works in your body. Your low back is spacious. We're gonna stand up out of it. Upright triangle shape. And then do bend that right knee, return to warrior two. On an inhale, root and rise, come up. On an exhale, navel to spine, take it down. Just one more here. Holding for a moment, tailbone length, sternum lifts. You'll start to reverse your warrior, letting that left hand rest on the thigh, right arm reach to the sky. Or maybe sneak the left forearm under the low back. Seal the thumbs, first fingers together, and you can look forward or to the back foot if the neck needs that relaxation. Still in the reverse warrior for another breath in and another breath out. Now again, extending the front leg, a lot like that upright triangle, now kind of a reverse triangle. Back foot can heel toe in a little closer. You'll shift your right hip to the left, letting your hand land on the ankle, shin, or a block. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Do it just so that the feet feel stable, toes still bright. Wrap the ribs up, reach the top arm, even the fingers up, maybe look up. Take another breath or two, maybe a minute or two here. For those of you ready to move on, left hand at the hip, option to gaze down. Bend the right knee a lot. Take the right fingers forward of the baby toe side of that foot. Back foot slides in and eventually up, lifting toward hip height. Top arm can reach or stay put. Standing knee can bend and re-extend. Last couple of inhales and exhales, maybe playing with the right hand, getting light. Or adding variations if they're familiar, including Chapasana. And keeping it in Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. And then stepping back to a warrior two. You might have to look down, touch down, get stable. Reverse your warrior when you inhale. Ride it down on the exhale, windmilling hands toward the floor. We'll step to plank on the inhale. We'll shift forward, elbows back, chaturanga as you exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale back, down dog. Big breath in. Full breath out. Challenging sequence on side two, starting with that leg lift. And as you lift from the inner thigh, take a moment to ground through those inner palms. Exhale to roll the hip open if you haven't, maybe looking left, some kicks, some circles. Talked about that figure eight kind of thing, really good for the hip. Anything else you're weaving in, totally fine, eventually squaring it off. To take the inhale at the top. Exhale, bend the knees, shift forward, step through. Now for this flow, we're grounding through the back foot, setting up heel to arch, or a little bit broader. Right arm leads, Vira two, second warrior. Couple of breaths here, checking in, maybe at those hip creases. And eventually root and rise, come up out of it. Exhale to return to the lunge. Let the tailbone lengthen, the sternum lift. It might include turning that whole back leg in or out more. You might include looking at that front knee, making sure, in fact, it is over the ankle in line with the second, third toes. Once you're in that warrior two, take a breath, softening somewhere. And then a lot stays as it is when you reverse. And you can tap the thigh, you can also bind, maybe connect thumb, first finger. Roll the bottom ribs up, look up if it works in the neck, forward or to the back foot if not. One more moment here in reverse warrior. Then straightening that leg, reverse triangle. Heel toeing the back foot in once or even twice. Take an inhale at the top, exhale, shift the hips. Going as far as you need with that bottom waist before you touch down is a good thing. Anchoring through the feet, the legs, and then revolving, wrapping those ribs and the heart up. You may find that taking the arm up is a good thing, complementing that length, that lift. You might want hand to hip, gaze down a little sooner than later. And do consider half moon from here. Taking hands outside the baby toe side of the foot, generally using a block or two is really key if you're feeling like the earth is far away. Back foot moves in and up toward hip height. Top arm can reach or stay. Standing knee can bend, re-extend. Bottom hand could get light, letting yourself breathe through whatever wobbles you're discovering here. And take the last couple of breaths connecting really from the inside out through the core of the body, adding or subtracting variations. Coming through that warrior two one more time. Once you've touched down, you're stable. Inhale, reverse it. And exhale, windmilling. Step back for plank, shift forward to include chaturanga. Ground through the tops of the feet, lift the heart, the thighs for up dog, stay low for cobra. Push back, even here, alternating the foot that occasionally turns first if you do it one by one. Letting yourself lead right, left, right, depending. Doing what we can to create more of that approach where we are not dominating on one side or the other, but using the front, the back, the right, the left evenly. Easier said than done, right? When you're ready for it, frog jump to malasana, yoga squat. If you can't jump right now, walk, crawl, do what you gotta do, prop it up, feet to the outsides of your hands, your wrists. A little shimmy sway as you get your booty back and down, pull the heart forward and through. On an inhale, root and rise, come up. On the exhale, heels stay grounded, take your booty back and down. Now maybe they are placed on a towel or blanket, or you're using blocks, pillows to actually sit on like a park bench. Reference as a longevity kriya, healing, healthy for the joints. When we approach it with breath, when we take good care of the body. And maybe one or two more, rooting to rise and then sitting yourself down. Walking that right arm right, we're gonna twist. Parivrita Malasana, the revolved garland pose, or the squat with a twist. Chest rolls up. Maybe support your head. If you know binding, you're welcome to go that far. You can also stick with fly away, like you got spirit fingers, jazz hand. After a few breaths in the twist, switching sides from the arm to the leg to the arm. Roll it up. And maybe look up, support the neck. Maybe bind partially, fully, or of course, keep those spirit fingers, jazz hands. Eventually, both hands come down. We're gonna play with crow. So it's a big pose. You might wanna circle the wrists, the ankles, once, twice each way first. You might even wanna stand on a block on its short height, or put a little padding in front of you. Knees are high, those are the wings. Trying to fly forward and up off the branch, rocking to the tippy toes, elbows draw in and back. See if you can pick up one foot, then the other, bringing the big toes together over time. You might get a breath, you might get a minute. Play once, twice, 3 times. Noting that a lot of the lift comes from the inside out, navel towards spine, the pelvic floor, the base of you engages. It's not a cute thought, but those muscles that you have to lift, to hold it when you have to go to the bathroom, that's the pelvic floor. With that said, you can do a last step or jump, chaturanga. Maybe just walk to a down dog. Take a few rocks, sways, bigger size, including the lion's roar, scrunch in the face, sticking out the tongue. Bring it to the knees. Do join me for a few Sufi circles on all fours, arching on the inhale, rounding on the exhale. Inhale forward, exhale back. And after you do a few one way, do a few the other. Returning to your sankalpa, the present moment, the intention and dedication behind the work. And inhale to roll it up. Exhale at the top. Do come to your back from here, taking a controlled roll down to the ground. And if you have a block or a firm pillow, do bring it with you. A couple of breaths, maybe still hovering. No big deal if you're already on the mat. And then from there, knees over ankles. Palms flat, take the inhale. Exhale, navel to spine. Inhale, do lift the hips up. Exhale, do lower them down. Rooting to rise, inhale. Exhale. Let's do a few, adding some arms where we stretch and really reach. Noting even through the yoga asana, this is a breathing practice, incorporating pranayama, inhaling, exhaling. Last time. And then maybe you put that block between the inner thighs. And as we pick the hips up, palms stay rooted. Grounding down as you hold here, maybe interlace the fingers. Snuggle the shoulders even further. Build that platform to open the chest, the heart center. Healing for the lungs, the respiratory system. After at least a few breaths at the top, you'll lower vertebra by vertebra. You can do one more bridge or one more set of dynamic bridges. You can also do a back bend or heart opener of your choosing. If you enjoy wheel, upward bow, that would be a moment to go there. For many of you, interlacing with the other thumb on top, finding that rooting action, grounding down to lift up. Maybe even a leg lift, something fancy if you're feeling it and are familiar. And then do roll it down vertebra by vertebra. Removing the block, if it was there, hug the knees in. Let them fall wide for a happy baby. Kicking our heels up over our knees, elbows to the inner leg, hands to the outer foot or ankle. You could circle those feet and ankles if you're not holding them, one of the benefits. You might also be able to relax the head and shoulders a little more. And then do rock with me a little side to side, letting one leg straighten and then the other. 2 to 3 each way, maybe letting your head tip the opposite way as the extended heel. A little coordination, but good for you. Both legs can also extend here. And after a few breaths, use the hands, close them in. Feet on the floor, we're going to take an easy inversion on that block. This could also be done with heels up a wall, up a headboard, up a tree. If you're on that block, sacrum, the base of the spine is grounded. Palms root, heels reach up. And this is where we'll close our practice together. I encourage at least 10 to 20 breaths being here. When you come on down, you're welcome, of course, to a more traditional Shavasana or any other yogi's choice to complete your yoga practice today. But again, enjoy this very easy restorative inversion, allowing yourself to just be almost weightless, like you are floating, feeling the shifts that you've made through your practice today. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do like, subscribe, send me requests. Namaste. I'll be here a little while.